First of all, it must be the best men and women. You can bet your last breath, Uhuru will never go for the best person. Raila will never go for the best person. Ruto will never go for the best person. They'll go for cronies, for those who assisted them, for those who fund their campaigns, for relatives of their friends. And that's why this country will never move forward.
So with Manyora directly in government, we are likely to see revival of careers of prison tailors who will take measurements of those guys.
Oh, yes, yes. Many of these people will go to jail. In fact, nobody should try and give me that job. I want to work in Taweka jailer. All these are thieves. All of them are put in jail. The bench just watches as lawyers speak some bad English, dressed in plastic suits, trying to show wasting time and asking useless questions, doing what? And the judge is just there watching. Okay. I will tell you, shut up.
Public servants with political ambitions are expected to resign from their official duties by the 9th of February this year. Now already a number of cabinet secretaries, principal secretaries, chief administrative secretaries, as well as ministerial heads, several of them have already expressed interest in their select elective seats come the August 2022 general elections. In as far as public service delivery is concerned, how do we ensure that there is a seamless transition and a good one at it? And as always, I'm yours truly, Richard Mwenja, truly delighted that you've joined us on this edition of Business Glide here on Herman Manyora's channel. And we don't take you for granted. But first things first, allow me introduce the phenomenal statesman, Kenya's most sought after political analyst and strategist, the first of his name, Herman Manyora. Sir.
Yes.
You're really glowing today.
Yeah, wonderful.
You're aging like fine wine. What's the secret?
Yeah. I'm not even aging. I'm a young man.
All right. We have seen a number of civil servants express their interest in elective seats come 2022.
Yes.
Now, what do you make of chiefs of key dockets now engaging in politics while till they're in office? You've seen Ukuri Attorney, Defense Minister, Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa engage in this. Do you feel that we are jeopardizing the state of our economy and the security in there?
Well, I think politics, so this is a government by politicians. So Kenya is a political state. And the people who run the country are basically politicians. And it does not surprise me, therefore, that any of these people are engaged in politics, and a good number intend to go actively into politics. It's normal. It's what we would expect.
I see.
Yes.
All right, but we've seen transition fears come up and take a bigger chunk of people's lives, and they are fearing that even when it comes to replacing them, nepotism and the place of recruitment malpractices might come on board, and we might not get people who are competent enough. What will you say to the taxpayers who are worried of this?
I sympathize. Just like them, I'm not a happy man. I'm not happy because Kenya has refused to grow in terms of seeing that this country will need to move forward. The political leadership, and the entire leadership of the country, has refused to see that until we have the best man or woman for every available job, this country will never move forward.
I see.
That's what the problem is. So I agree and I sympathize that even if Raila takes over or William Ruto, the same people, you would not see any difference. The government will be run by the same suspects. And this country will never move forward.
All right.
The country can only move forward if for every job we put forward the best Kenyan we can put our hands on.
I see.
Yeah.
Talking about that, from an efficiency standpoint, if you are in the shoe of President Uhuru Kenyatta, what will you go for in those replacements that he might need to seek to replace with the existing ones who are exiting office?
If I were Uhuru Kenyatta, and since I'm working with Raila Odinga, who I intend to take over from me, I'll sit down with him and come up with a transitional cabinet.
I see.
I will put people in, together with Raila, we will put people in office to replace those who are going, and even just reshuffle others, so that the transition will be seamless. It will be very easy for Raila to move on with the work Uhuru has left.
I see.
But you don't expect that to happen. First of all, it must be the best men and women. You can bet your last breath, Uhuru will never go for the best person. Raila will never go for the best person. Ruto will never go for the best person. They'll go for cronies, for those who assisted them, for those who fund their campaigns, for relatives of their friends. And that's why this country will never move forward. And I've said it repeatedly.
So that means
as a third world country, we have so much to do. And I sympathize with whoever takes over from Uhuru. This country is so down. There's so much pain in this country. This country is hurting economically. You need the best men to transit this country.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately, they will not do that.
So that even means working with Raila won't really...
It won't change much. Of course, you know, I have said there is what Manyora would do if Manyora was the president. But there's what these people can do. And within that limitation of theirs, we can say Uhuru has done better than Kibaki. Raila will do better than Uhuru. Incrementally. That's okay. They will do better. People will clap for them. But Manyora is for complete transformation.
But you advise them on public service delivery. Are they hard-headed per se or what?
They don't hear. They don't think I'm anything. They don't hear.
Oh, the black sheep in the families.
No, they just think I'm not.
All right.
I mean, I'm too radical, too revolutionary for their liking.
All right.
If I was the president, I will overhaul everything. I will do things people have never seen before.
All right.
For example, if I was the president, many of these top people in government will all go home. It will be performance and delivery and nothing else.
If you don't...
I've given an example of university. I call you the vice chancellor. You want to be vice chancellor of University of Nairobi? Yes. Tell me how you'll win yourself off the exchequer. That in 2 years we shall not give you a cent. But you must pay salaries, pay good salaries to your staff. Run the university well, but you generate your money without departing from the mission and the vision of the university and the philosophy of a university.
So with Manyora directly in government, we are likely to see revival of careers of prison tailors who will take measurements of those guys.
Oh, yes. Many of these people will go to jail. In fact, nobody should try and give me that job. I want to work in jailer. These are thieves. All of them are put in jail.
I see.
Yes.
All right. Majority of these chief state officials and servants have gone contrary to the 2015 Public Audit Act in terms of submitting financial statements for scrutiny by Auditor General in time. And Madam Nancy Gadungu, the Auditor General, has said that perhaps they are afraid of going under scrutiny. So many of them are resigning, yet they haven't even handed over official audit reports. How do you view all this?
That's why I say we are just useless people. Many of these people who are going to run should not be running. They are leaving mess behind them.
Is the problem with the Auditor General's office? Does she need an extra hand? Or
of course, that office is incapable of delivering. It is understaffed. It doesn't seem to have a clear... But you see, you cannot blame that office because the entire political infrastructure in this country is not conducive to such a work being done well. That nobody gives you a job in this country with the intention that you do it well. So if you begin to do it well, you go home. Look at the EACC. People like Piolo Lumumba thought they could. They were even telling MPs, we are going to audit you and jail you. They just looked at him and laughed, and they sent him home instead.
Reliable sources are telling me that have told us that he's big on taekwondo nowadays after exiting EACC.
Well, whatever it is.
Is he that desperate?
No. He's a good man. Piolo is doing well, even financially. He's doing well for himself. No, he's doing well. He's a recognized international figure. You can deny that he's important and he's somebody, he's resourceful, he's useful. You can deny him in Kenya. You can remove him from ESCC. You can say PLO is not fit to be a member of parliament. But internationally is recognized. And for that, he's earning his living properly.
Just as you are, and take the credits.
No, I'm not really. Myself, I'm not gotten any. I'm still a small man.
A small boy in the village?
A small boy in the village. Aging gracefully, as you said.
All right, like fine wine.
Yeah, fine.
All right, we have seen money and corruption define Kenyan politics. Yes. Now, there is worry that a majority are resigning from their office without even handing over this financial statement in time, because also in there is a need for campaign financing. How true is this argument?
It is true that people go into public service to loot, to steal, not to serve. So you get an innocent man like Richard Mwenja, young man.
And very poor.
Visionary, wanting to move this country forward, as in a man of the people. You get a job. A man like you perhaps is hardly able to pay rent in any significant place, even rent of 20,000. Tomorrow you'll be staying in Karen, in Kuleleshwa. After 2 years, you own a home in Karen. This is theft. People go into public office to steal. Once they have stolen, they then go into political office. They run for political office. for self-glorification, you know?
To advance their looting spree.
And then they even loot more now and protect what they have looted. This has to stop if we have to have a chance of leaving a country to our children and grandchildren. If we don't stop this, if people still openly then run for political office, nobody stops them. Nobody tells somebody, now that you have been a principal secretary, the chief accounting officer of the ministry, and so much was looted under your watch. And these are the audit queries you have not even answered. How do we clear you to run for governor? Nobody asks those questions. So what kind of country do you think you have? You have no country. Stop thinking you have a country. And in the future, our children and grandchildren will really blame us for messing the country.
Before the 9th February deadline of their exit from public service, do you feel it's time is ripe enough for us to enhance the whistleblowing mechanism in this very state corporation, so that for those who probably looted and mismanaged public funds, before they go for the elective seats, people will have come on board and really laid out their dirty linen, so that for scrutiny and prosecution?
You see, we need to do that, but not in the formal way in which people think we must have whistleblowers. No, social media is helping us. The internet is helping us. We only want to encourage Kenyans. Expose these people. Expose them more. Shame them. Sometimes somebody can be shamed so much, they can no longer continue. You get it? Although we continue electing our thieves, but if you embarrass somebody well enough, he may think twice before running. Because IEBC has become a toothless bulldog. It is citing non-existent laws that our hands are tied. What hands are tied? The law gives you power, and you are saying
you're under shackles.
That if somebody is caught up in something, until they have run the whole course of magistrate, high court, appeal, and Supreme Court, you will clear them. That's not what the law is saying. That is far from it. That's not what the law is saying. The law is saying, if somebody, for example, you cannot stop somebody because of proceedings before court if they have not been exhausted. But the law is not saying if somebody is corrupt. You know? If somebody is in violation of chapter 6, he must be cleared. No, that's...
Sticking to that,
the threshold is different for the two.
All right. Your point rings a bell on the efficiency of our judicial service system. We've seen even those, one or two who've undertaken major economic crimes are still free out here and mingling the public and still advancing their activities in public offices. What does that tell you about our Judicial Service Commission? Case of low resource allocation, or just some suckers in there?
No, nothing. Nobody's serious. Nobody's serious. Nobody's serious. You know,
but Mother Kome has been on the
if
front line.
Somebody has been jailed in a very clear way. It is his right to bail. He's released on bail. And then it will take 3 years. And the guy is campaigning for office. And he'll go to become an MP. What are you telling young people? Then we are blaming young people for not registering. Well, even if I was a young person, why would I have interest in our politics? I'm giving a case of like somebody like Waluke, for example. He's a good man.
Waluke.
He's a very good man. But he was jailed for a long time. Instead of concentrating on his appeal, he's running in campaigning, and he could be elected. What do you think a young man can, if you see somebody like that? And I have nothing against him. And I hope I'm not crossing the law. But I'm just saying, even the people themselves should have that shame on me thing. You know, that's the feeling that, let me respect Kenyans. Some little respect for the public and for the electorate. That I am pushing the people too far. If they see somebody like me in doing elections, campaigning, using under the cover that I'm not still innocent, the appeal is going on. No, you know this in developed countries, and we admire them. We are dying to go there. We queue for visas. We are dying to get a visa to go there. In those countries, when you have gotten to that level, you take a back seat. But you might as well be innocent. But what image are you presenting to the public?
On the Judicial Service Commission, Mother Kome has come forward and said it's a case of understaffing and not much of a substantial budgetary allocation.
The Judicial Service Commission and the judiciary in general had better come to Manyora And we go somewhere in Naivasha, they like in Naivasha or Mombasa. And within 2-3 days, I will show them how to run the judiciary. The better way to administer justice, the administration of justice in this country, is stuck in a self-imposed prison. The judiciary has put itself in some prison, the so-called the adversarial system, so that the bench just watches as lawyers speak some bad English, dressed in plastic suits, trying to show wasting time and almost asking useless questions, doing what? And the judge is just there watching. Okay. I will tell you, shut up. Certain things, we shall subject them to very... I keep giving this example. In the petition of 2013, the petitioner from both sides were arguing the Raila petition 1 of 2013. What did Mutunga do? He just moved, and the court has, there's a word they use, Muto, whatever, I can't remember, Muto something. On its own volition, the court can move that something be done. William Mutunga, Justice Mutunga just say, I want from 34's GA or whatever produce this and this produced, and they are scrutinized. That kind of thing I'm saying.
I see.
So if you are struggling about land, the court can just say, okay, let us go to Musengeri village and see that land Manyora's mother is talking about. These demarcations we are seeing, when were they planted? Can they have been planted yesterday? No. These things can only have been there for the last 40 years. Why are you saying this? You know, the court should be proactive. The court should also clerk cases. You go to court. I was in court. I went to Kakamega, for example.
Yeah.
Lucky enough, the case went on. But you can go there only to be told the magistrate is unwell.
Go back and come another day.
Look, you can't send a text message to somebody. So the court should begin clerking cases.
All right.
Some things are outright lies. Even before it go to the bench, the clerks, they will be trained legal clerks.
All right.
They look at inconsistencies. How can you be saying this when this is this? In the light of this, in your own plaint, in the light of A and B, how can C be there? Please go and save the court's time.
I see.
Those kind of things will save the court, and not staffing. Staffing will come later.
All right.
Yeah.
But I'm afraid CJ Mother Kome might be kind of afraid that she might not fit your bill.
That's the problem. If they are biased lawyers, but if they talk to me, they should just invite me to do them a paper.
All right.
And to show them how we can run the administration of justice properly.
Yeah.
And how there will be no backlogs. We will clear all the backlogs. A lot of the cases are there because of games from lawyers and other players, Yeah.
Especially on economic crimes.
Yeah.
I see.
There are things you can just process quickly,
all right,
even using just common sense. And the contradictions inherent, and the facts on the ground. Say, well, this can't be this. If this is this, there's no way this can be this.
All right.
Why do you want to waste the court's time?
The very last, sir.
Yes.
What will you tell Public Service Commission, who probably will go and undertake the replacement of those who have exited office? What should be the cardinal rule that should guide their recruitment on who takes office from those who have exited? I'm
happy the Public Service Commission is doing a good job. They are improving. I want them to go further than that. I want them to know that we must establish a better way of recruiting. We are so much stuck in this idea of Kenya Revenue Authority bring certificate, good conduct. That is not how you get a decent person.
And the place of nepotism?
They are not KRA. Let the people pay their own taxes. You cannot deny somebody a job because he didn't produce a certificate. Hiyo ni mambo ya KRA na EACC. Okay? You do your job. Look at the best man. Help. Sijui CRB. Those things have nothing to do with a good person. You look for a good person. Once you have a good person, let other agencies do their own work.
I see.
Okay? If somebody has issues with tax, that is the taxman. It's not you. You are recruiting the best Kenyan.
All right.
If the taxman will hold him and get to a point where is no longer tenable for him to work, so be it.
As a renowned political analyst and strategist in Kenya, for civil servants who want to take elective seats come August 2022, but are afraid of taking the jump, what will you advise them on how they go about it?
We want the best people to go into politics. Please come out and go into politics. But to answer your question, we must amend the law that requires civil servants, public servants to resign 6 months. Why? That law is meant to deal with the people who by their office have access to information and the resources.
I see.
Now, a teacher like me, what access do I have to anything? So you ask me to resign. In fact, in order to get good people, we must say civil servants, teachers, university lecturers, and other categories of people should try their hand. They just take 6-month leave.
Okay.
You try your hand. If you get it, then you are given 5 years leave of absence. If you don't get it, you go back to the classroom and teach. That way we'll tap better people. Because now, like you are saying, people are afraid.
Yeah.
I lose my job, where will I go? We need to make sure they will get only 6 months, even unpaid leave, 6 months. If you win, we give you 5 years unpaid leave of absence, unpaid.
I see.
Then you come back after the 5 years if you don't get re-elected. If you lose in the first instance, you go back to your job.
All right. Yeah. Well, an elder has spoken. That is Herman Manyora talking matters future of public service delivery now that a number of state officials have expressed their interest in elective seats come the August 2022 general elections. Our fan of the week today on Business Glide is Jen Jambi in Burnt Forest.
Jen Jambi in Burnt Forest, a good place. Thank you very much, Jen, for being part of us.
All right. Well, at that point, my mic is off. Yours is switched on. Do engage with us on our social media platform. I'm at Mwenja Richard on Twitter, at Manyora as well on Twitter. Also remember, our YouTube channel is at Herman Manyora on YouTube. Make sure that we keep this conversation going beyond here. And as always, we are always delighted to have you on board. Up next on your screen is the Business Glide African Proverb of the Day.